In this video, I'm going to show you the smartest path to making $10,000 a month or more. Whether you're just starting from zero and are looking to have your first $10,000 month, or you've been at this for a while now and are looking for a way to add another $10K to your monthly income consistently and predictably. This video will show you how by giving you a proven step-by-step process to follow. And the best part is this system works no matter who you are, where you're from, and can be started with $0 and zero experience. I know because this is the exact same process I used to go from an absolute beginner with no skills making exactly $0 to then making 10K, 50K, 100K, and then multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars each and every single month. And so have hundreds of my clients and students, so I know that you can do it too. So here's what we're gonna cover. First, I'm gonna show you the best and most proven path to making not just 10,000, but potentially even 20,000, 50,000, even hundreds of thousands of dollars each and every single month. There are a lot of different ways to make money online, but not all methods are created equal. So I'm gonna show you how to win by playing the money game on easy mode. Next, I'm gonna show you the 3 elements that you need to have in place to give yourself the greatest chance of success. If you miss even one of these important elements, your odds of failure increase by 100 times. So make sure to write these down when we get to them. Finally, I'm gonna help you pick the very best path for you by breaking down the different strategies that you could use to get you to that $10,000 per month mark. You're gonna see that there's a pretty clear winner here, but it's still important to cover so that you can feel confident moving forward. Warren Buffett said it best when he said, "It doesn't matter how hard you row, it matters what boat you're in." Which means this may be the most important part of the entire process, because if you choose the right opportunity, which I'm gonna help you do, then you're gonna be able to simply tap into existing market forces that are helping everyone in there become more wealthy and more successful. So if you're ready to go, let's dive in. But first, I do have to warn you about something, because as you probably already know, getting access to the information that I'm about to share with you, but then actually going out there and doing something with it are two completely different things. And the truth is that the single biggest factor to your success can be measured on this chart right here, that measures where you fall from interested over here, which describes a person who is only willing to do what's convenient, versus somewhere over here on the committed end of the spectrum, which is a person who's committed to doing whatever it takes. So hopefully after watching this video, you'll feel confident in knowing that you're doing the right things in the right place for the right people. So you'll be able to fully commit to your dreams and go out there and make them happen. So with that said, let's start by taking a look at the smartest way to get you to 10K per month as quickly, easily, and efficiently as possible. And to do that, I want to introduce you to a concept that changed my financial life forever. According to Robert Kiyosaki in his book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, when it comes to making money, there are really only 4 options available. He calls this the cash flow quadrant, and on the left side, you've got the traditional paths that most of us are encouraged to follow, starting with being an employee at the very top and maybe moving down to being self-employed from there. But it's on the right-hand side of the column over here that true financial freedom is achieved by being a business owner and an investor. Yes, you can make $10,000 a month by staying on the left-hand side of the quadrant, but for me, I knew that getting another job, even a high-paying job like a doctor or a lawyer, just wasn't going to get me where I ultimately wanted to go, which wasn't just $10,000 a month, but also having true time and location and financial freedom, putting myself in a position where my income was unlimited. So being an employee was out. The idea of becoming self-employed and working as a freelancer or something like that would give me at least some control, but never the true freedom that I was really looking after. So that one was out too. Being an investor sounded awesome. After all, an investor is someone who uses their money to make even more money in the ultimate passive income dream. But I had nothing to invest, so that one was out too, which left me with only one option: business owner. Later in my career, I would hear a quote by Naval Ravikant where he said something that really helped drive this point home for me. And he said, "You're not going to get rich renting out your time. You must own part of a business to gain your financial freedom." So if starting or owning a business is the best path forward, then the next question becomes, what kind of business is the best one to start? And in order to show you that, I first need to tell you the story of a company that tried to reinvent the wheel, but failed, and how their failure can teach you one of the most important lessons in all of business. For a business to succeed, you need 3 elements to align: right place, right time, right people. Let me show you how important this is by telling you a story about a few catastrophic business failures, starting with being in the right place at the right time, but trying to serve the wrong people. The year was 2001. The iPod, Harry Potter, and Shrek were the biggest names in town. And to the creators of the Segway, the future of personal transportation looked friendly, and they had big dreams of turning every sidewalk into a mini expressway. But in the classic business case of right place, right time, they forgot one crucial ingredient: right people, and they failed to realize that nobody wanted an awkward, expensive, impractical, let's be honest, kind of goofy looking thing. And so, the segue failed. Next, let me give you an example of being in the right place for the right people, but at the wrong time. When most people think of a smartphone, they think of an iPhone. Some people think of an Android, and some people might even think of a BlackBerry. But it was actually IBM back in 1994 that released what is widely accepted as the very first smartphone, the IBM Simon. A smartphone that sadly only survived a year before being pulled from the shelves. Because while people did like the touchscreen, and the email, and the fax capabilities, yes, that's right, a fax machine. Ultimately, the Simon failed because it was considered a big, heavy, excessively expensive luxury item that people just didn't fully understand yet. Then finally, in what is probably the most perfect example ever of right time, right people, but wrong place, we have Blockbuster. Even though the digital streaming era was about to take off, right time, Blockbuster's competitor Netflix was proving that there was demand for digital streaming, right people, well, Blockbuster still refused to adapt and invest in this new model. Wrong place, which ultimately led to their downfall. And this is why you need all three things to align. Lucky for us, as long as you're not trying to start a new smartphone company or online streaming service, well, we've got a ton of different options to choose from that line up perfectly and check all of the boxes that we need for growth and profitability and market demand. I like to think of this as business on easy mode. I like a good challenge as much as anybody. When it comes to making money, I want the process to be as easy as possible. After all, in the game of business, you're not being rewarded for how hard you work, only the results that you deliver. So if you're only being rewarded based on the results that you deliver, then why would you want to make things harder than they need to be? That's right, you wouldn't. So we're gonna make things as easy as possible for you by choosing something that Joe Polish and Dean Jackson call an ELF business, where the ELF stands for easy, lucrative, and fun. This is what Warren Buffett meant when he suggested that choosing the right boat, the right business vehicle in this case, is more important than how hard you work. For me, this means choosing a business model with premium pricing and high profit margins that sells something valuable that people really want, that's easy to deliver and fulfill, to a group of customers that are ready, willing, and able to buy right now. But I appreciate that's a whole lot to unload on you all at once, so let me get out of this elf costume and break down what that all looks like, starting with premium pricing. To keep things as simple as possible, let's divide pricing into two different camps: high price and low price. Now, one of the biggest myths and misconceptions in all of marketing is that it is significantly easier to sell low-priced items than it is to sell higher-priced items. But this isn't always the case, and it's certainly not a linear relationship. In other words, it's not 100 times harder to sell something for 100 times more expensive. In fact, often the same amount of effort is required to sell something for $10 as it is to sell something for $10,000. The only difference is, in the first case, you make $10, and in the second case, you make $10,000. But the price you charge is just one piece of the puzzle, and another, arguably even more important factor, is what are your profit margins on what it is that you're selling. For example, if you sell something for $1,000, but it costs you $999 to make, then your profit margin here is $1, which is a 0.1% profit margin. This is why I've never been a big fan of dropshipping, e-commerce, or product-based businesses for beginners. There's simply too much risk involved, too much capital required, and too little profit to justify the work involved. On the other hand, if you sell something for $100, but it only costs you $10 to make, well, you're working with a $90, 90% profit margin. And this is why my preference is almost always selling services, which have higher profit margins, rather than selling products, for both beginners and experts alike. And don't worry, I'll show you what my favorite services to offer are in just a minute. But first, we've got to tackle the next part of the equation, which is that you need to sell something valuable. One of the biggest and most frustrating problems that I see in business is business owners and entrepreneurs and marketers putting in their blood and their sweat and their tears trying to sell something that people just don't want. And that's why I love markets with competition. In fact, I'll only ever go into a business or into a market if there are already existing competitors operating in that space, as it proves that there's demand for the services or the products or whatever it is that they're offering. Otherwise, those businesses wouldn't still be alive. That said, there is a big difference between surviving and thriving, which is what we're after. So we need to take it a step further by making sure that what we're selling is valuable, like really valuable. And the way to do that is to make sure that what we're selling solves a big problem. A big problem that someone is experiencing right now. And a big problem that someone is experiencing right now that also has the desire and the ability to actually pay to have that problem solved. In marketing, we can divide up the market into two major segments: B2B, which stands for business to business, and B2C, which stands for business to consumer. And why my favorite market of all time is, drumroll please, business owners. The B2B, or business to business market, selling services to other business owners that helps them to run their business and get more customers, make more sales. As for which services specifically, well, the best services to sell here need to be easy to deliver. This means we can automate them as much as possible. We need to be able to scale them up to take on new clients without burning ourselves out in the process. And ideally, they need to be something that allows us to get started fast. So, as for what to sell, well, there's one thing in particular that all businesses want, need, and even crave. It's the lifeblood of their business, the most important thing to keeping them going and growing and becoming as profitable as possible. And that thing is, another drum roll please, more customers. So when it comes to what to sell, the best thing you can offer them is a solution that gets them more customers, makes them more sales, and helps them increase their revenue. And that, my friend, is where marketing comes in. And don't worry if you've never done marketing before, because there is a way for you to earn while you learn. Go from 0, or wherever you're at right now, to 10K a month and beyond, and still provide a ton of value to business owners. The first thing to understand about becoming a marketer, whether for yourself or for your own business or for clients, is to really appreciate that business owners and business in general, well, they don't care about your experience. They don't care about your credentials, whether or not you have a marketing degree, which you certainly do not need. They don't care about your age or your gender or where you live or anything like that. The only thing that actually matters is results. In other words, your ability to help a business get more customers and make more sales. That's it. That's literally all that matters, which is great news because there are a ton of ways that you can do this, even if you're brand new to marketing and have never done it before. In fact, let me show you a way that you can get started today. Literally, as soon as this video finishes, and be well on your way to a lifetime of time, location, and financial freedom. But in order to do that, it's helpful to take a look at 3 different levels of marketing services that you could offer. So you can see why much of the advice out there just may not apply to you right now, but also paints a pretty nice picture of where you can end up in the not so distant future. At the top tier, you've got marketing consulting. This is where you go in and listen to a business's problems and create strategic marketing solutions to help them solve them. Top consultants here can make anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 per client per month. And at my peak, I was working with around 20 to 30 clients per month, which obviously provides a pretty crazy income. The next level down, however, is where I'd love for you to end up sooner rather than later. This is running your own marketing agency, offering services to clients and charging anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000 per month. The beauty here is that you can either do the work yourself and keep all the profits, or you can hire others to help you with the service fulfillment part while you concentrate on sales and bringing in new clients for the agency. This is an amazing path and incredible opportunity, one of, if not the best online business models today, which is why we have an entire program that helps people start and scale 6- and 7-figure agencies of their very own called the Agency Accelerator. So I'll make sure to put a link in the descriptions below if you're interested in checking it out. Then finally, we have the fastest and easiest path to making your first $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, or $10,000 online, which is still selling marketing services to business owners, a service that we know they want and need and are willing to pay for, but selling it in a way that allows them to do it themselves. And the best way to do this is through something called affiliate marketing, which is where you introduce the business owner to a piece of software that allows them to do all of their marketing themselves and comes fully equipped with built-in templates and campaigns, workflows, and sequences. And then you earn a commission every time someone signs up. The beauty here is that it's completely beginner friendly, so you can get started with no money, no experience, no risk, as all you're doing is introducing the software, which is the tool that's going to be doing all of the heavy lifting for you. And after over a decade of doing this and trying pretty much every single marketing software out there, I can confidently say that I found the best tool for this, which is something called HighLevel. And I've got all kinds of free training and tools and courses and even a complete affiliate marketing training called Affiliate Marketing Camp that you can sign up for today for completely 100% free. So I'll make sure to put a link to that down in the descriptions as well. Lastly, I've also linked up a playlist right over here that's gonna give you even more tips and tricks on the best way to start and grow a profit-producing agency of your very own. So feel free to tap or click that as well, and I'll see you in there in just a second.